Hello and welcome. My name's Brandon and this is DevLog 6, the Auto Combat Update. The game has been updated to Alpha version 1.4 and I'm going to show you over the combat system, explain how it works, how you can use it, and how I've designed the system. Okay, so straight away you can see the combat style select UI system. This basically gives you a choice of how you train your current skills. If you hover over each of these and display the information to the player, basically telling you what these are going to do. When you first start, the combat system will automatically be set to the attack skill. The attack skill improves your accuracy over time. So basically on each level, you will increase your accuracy stat. So let's start attacking this while I go over the systems that are in place, and how you can use them. Okay, so I've already explained the attack skill. The strength skill basically increases your damage on each level. The defense system increases your damage reduction on each level as well. This is used across all combat for your defense skill. Now the magic system works slightly different, which is the skill we're currently using, as you can see in the background. The magic system has its own accuracy and its own damage system. So we're not using basically the melee accuracy stat or the defense or damage stat from strength, which I thought made sense. The range system is also basically the same as mage. It has its own accuracy and its own damage stat. There are 3 more systems that have been included with combat. One is the auto eat system, which basically works how you'd expect. There's a threshold in the game which is 50% of your maximum health, and then your current health. So your current health would be 5 in the instance of it being 10 for your maximum, 5 for your current, so that would be your current health at the threshold where it sets to eat. There is also the auto looting feature that has been added into the game, so you can see that we're automatically looting these new drops from the enemies. So we've got raw beef, leather, bones. Now, if we go over to the auto bury system, you can see that it's just buried there and it shows some information. So the way I designed that is basically for devotion, which is going to be the passive system, which will improve skills and it will improve combat. And basically you'll unlock these passives over time. That still needs to be implemented into the game, but that's how I designed it in mind. So basically any item that I set in the dictionary through the script, which would be like bones, skulls, things like that, other bony parts basically of the NPC, they will get automatically buried and your XP will be added into that skill. So that's how you can level that up. Now, regarding the auto eating system, anything that's in your inventory will be displayed with a hit points value. So when we hover over certain items, they will have a hit points value. So basically anything that's cooked will then receive this stat, essentially. That's how I've written it. I'm also going to go over the UI. That's been in place now. So hover over to the equipment tab. You'll see that this isn't used yet, but this is placeholder, so I do need feedback on this, please. So eventually we will have capes, helmets, arrows, which will be used by the range skill. We have a main hand and amulet slot, a offhand slot, which is displayed by the shield, gloves, plate body, 2 ring slots and some boots. Eventually we will have plate legs as well. We're going to have a tool bag, which will be used for any tools through the gathering skills, which are mining, wood cutting and fishing. So instead of having these tools in your inventory, let's switch this over to accuracy. Any tools that are in your inventory will be then added to this tool belt when you click them, rather than having the space taken up in your inventory. You can see that the level up system is currently working through all the combat skills. I've also added XP pop-ups for the dexterity skill, so you can clearly visualize when you're moving around the world that you're actually gaining XP in this stat. The same works with devotion. Now, after this cow is killed, you can also see that there is some loot information that pops up as well. I thought this was valuable to the player just to see what's actually been looted, because it loots quite fast. So now you can actually see what's visually being added into your inventory, as well as monitoring your inventory yourself as well. I'm going to stop the skill now. Well, I'll stop the combat system and just head over and show you some more enemies across the game. So we have some billy goats, we have some chickens, and if we just close this UI, and we have some hobgoblins, and I'll explain a bit about the combat system, how you can use it. So basically, any enemy that is being clicked by you is basically saying to the system, I want to attack these crabs. And the system will only attack these crabs. It goes through the list of all the enemies in the game, it gets all their locations, and it says, okay, I'm only attacking crabs. And then it basically uses the nav system, goes around and fights only crabs. I've done it this way to basically influence the player to go and fight harder versions of certain enemies. So for instance, the cow has Mama Cow. Mama Cow hits a lot harder, has more health, but also rewards more XP to both your hit point skill and all your combat skills. To make it more valuable for a more active player to then go and seek out better drops and more XP. Now what will happen is if you killed Mama Cow, you would fight her, kill her, and then what would happen is the combat skill would just stop because there's only one of her. The reason I've done this is basically to anyone that's more of a hands-on player is then rewarded more for being that active player. Or you could come along every so often and go, oh, there's an elite there. Let's go kill that one after I killed this goblin. So I can go kill this wolf rider. And he might drop good tools. Okay, that's good. Now I can go and click the goblins. And now I can go chill for a bit. And I can come back and it might be respawned. So that's the idea with that system. So that's how I've designed that, and I'm hoping everyone likes it. And yeah, let me know what you think. This combat system is going to be iterated on over time and made a lot better. I've also missed one thing that you've probably seen at the top. We have a combat information UI, which basically is the same system that I use for the skills. So I wanted it to be more familiar. So when we do woodcutting or cooking or fishing or any other skill in the game, we normally display some information at the top of the screen just to basically give you more of that feedback for the player. So you can actually see that you're improving more. So you can see the stats that are improving more over time rather than just you visually seeing, oh, okay, I'm hitting this NPC a lot harder now. Oh, and I've also modified the zoom to allow you to physically zoom in a lot more, which I believe is a good change. And I've gone over the settings screen to give me a bit more room for in the future. The zoom settings now has the same system that I use for the buttons on auto eat, loot, and bury. So basically, anything that's enabled will be shown in red, and anything that's disabled doesn't get anything. And these will also be saved, so their states are saved across playthroughs. So I thought that was very good to have for the player. Oh, we got 2 bronze rod actually. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Okay. we go over to the cooking range, we can see that there's some more food that we can cook: beef, chicken, shrimps, and chevron. And if we hover over the gold system, we can now see a little tooltip as well. So this is basically for when the system converts 1,000 gold into 1k. If it goes over because it's converted, you can then see your exact amount, the unformatted amount. So hopefully everyone's enjoyed that. I'm getting a bit chesty now, so I'm going to leave the video there. Hopefully everyone's enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.